The 2025 season is coming to an end. We thought it'd be a great time to go and rank our top six. We couldn't agree on five. Top six best trades from the 2025 MLB trade deadline. Make sure you guys drop a like in this video. We will drop our worst trades of the 2025 MLB trade deadline when you guys drop a like on this video. And don't forget to subscribe for more content from the Windup. James, I'm really interested to see what you say because my brain's so YouTubey and so focused on the now. I got a feeling, I got a hunch our top six is going to be a little bit different.
I think this is going to be one of the most different of opinions we've had in any video we've done on this channel so far. But I'm excited about that. So my six best trade of the deadline, I struggled really to pick between 5 and 6, and you did as well, which is why we're going top six trades. But
Yes.
my sixth best trade from the deadline, I think, was Shane Bieber to the Toronto Blue Jays. Bieber, the team badly needed another guy at the top of that rotation. Kevin Gausman's had an amazing resurgence season, but we've seen Gausman run into problems specifically in playoff matchups before, just because he's a two-pitch guy, and if the splitter's not there, he's not there. Bieber has rediscovered all the stuff. The velocity's bounced back a bit. The breaking stuff is good again. He's going to be probably the game two starter for the Toronto Blue Jays in a playoffs where, truthfully, like based on what this core has been for the last few times they've made these runs, they kind of have to go far, at least win a couple rounds. So I think that was a really meaningful trade. We probably haven't even seen the biggest meaning yet, but Blue Jays fans watching this, I'm sure you're pretty confident Shane Bieber heading to the postseason.
And I didn't have him on there. So Blue Jays
That's
fans are going to hate me.
crazy.
That's good. No, there are a clear six more impactful trades than Shane Bieber. The biggest one being, though, you're predicting for the future.
Kind of, yeah, in a way.
This right now, I don't think he is one of the six best trades of the deadline. But in the future, I agree. In the playoff implications, Shane Bieber could have the biggest impact out of anybody at the trade deadline because that Blue Jays rotation is so sketchy.
And I think part of this also as well is like the Blue Jays didn't need a lot of impact at the deadline
Of
because
course.
they didn't have exactly first place locked up, but they smacked the Yankees in the second half and they had that. But the biggest thing for the Blue Jays was setting up a playoff roster and a playoff rotation that could at least stand up to the Yankees.
Yes.
And now possibly the Mariners, how hot they've gotten. So I think that's why, yes, part of this is my projecting impact, but that I think is very impactful for that reason.
Okay, so for my number six, I went with Mason Miller being traded to the Padres. His numbers since he's gotten to San Diego are out of control. He has a sub-1 ERA. His whip starts at 0.7, which is crazy. And the number that really jumps out to me the most, striking out 52% of the batters he's facing. So you have a more likely chance to strike out than do anything against Mason Miller right now. There's a better chance that you strike out in the postseason. We know strikeouts are the name of the game. If you can get people to strike out, you can limit damage. And the fact that this Padres bullpen is so good, now you have a guy in Mason Miller who can not just go one, he can go 2 innings and be absolutely locked down. The Padres starting pitchers really only have to go 5 innings at the worst. And it's going to be tough to beat this team in the postseason with how good the offense is and how good that bullpen is. Might not have as big of an impact in the moment as Shane Bieber, but I think just straight up how good this guy is, how amazing he has been, he's got to be in this top six.
Totally. And the cool thing about Miller going to the Padres as well, they've helped him a lot with the feel, especially of the slider. He wasn't throwing it as consistently, especially not early in the count when he was with the Athletics. He had an immaculate inning with the Padres that threw it 9 straight times. He had a crazy backdoor one against Juan Soto last week. That was just outrageously good. But this is interesting, differently the way we're thinking about these lists, not the same way. I didn't have Miller on here because that bullpen I thought was already very good. And while they got a lot better from that trade, based on what they traded for Miller, he's got to throw 15 playoff innings. They got to win a World Series for me to be like, yeah, that was worth it. But again, that's the difference of how we think about the trade deadline stuff. So my number 5, I stuck with the Padres, and it was the combo trade of Ramon Laureano and Ryan O'Hearn.
Okay, they're a little higher on mine.
If I looked at that Padres roster and I was like, this roster is pretty much all set, standard, ready to go. They just need some more depth in that lineup. And they got 2 of the best depth guys traded at the deadline. Ramon Laureano has been one of the best hitters in baseball in the second half since the trade deadline as well. Ahern hasn't been as good, but at least he's as a 7 hitter. He's way better than what they were throwing out there every single day. I think that is a trade that really, really improved just where that team was and how far they can go.
Yes, that was a major floor trade where the floor just rise for them because we know that this team was extremely top heavy. I had Laureano and O'Hearn at number 3 just because how good Laureano's been offensively in left field. He's been phenomenal. I think he's running like a 130 WRC plus since they traded for him. Can't believe he's had a little bit of a renaissance to his career like he has, but he looks really good. Like someone who's probably going to get a pretty decent contract this offseason on like a 1 or 2 year deal to be a left fielder for a team that's in the postseason, going to be competing. O'Hearn has been the one that I can understand why you'd bump it down a little bit because he hasn't been as good. But it's one of those things where like you said, he's hitting seventh, he's hitting eighth in this lineup. He still has crazy power, and I'm sure there is just an adjustment from going to one of the more hitter-friendly ballparks for a left-handed hitter in Baltimore to now going to San Diego, which isn't as hitter-friendly, especially as the months are not as hot out there.
Totally. Just being a righty masher in the bottom of that
Yes.
lineup helps them a ton.
Okay, my number 5 though was Miguel Andujar to the Reds. Miguel
That
Andujar has like changed the Reds offense in a time where Ellie De La Cruz has disappeared. He has done nothing since August 1st. Miguel Andujar, I think, is running like a 150 WRC plus. He's hitting like 350, a 400 on base percentage. He can't field, but it doesn't matter. They have the DH. You can pinch hit him. Every single time he's had the ability to step up, he has gotten the big hit for the Reds. It's super funny to think that like the Miguel Andujar, Clint Frazier like trade jokes, Miguel Andujar finally gets traded and has been one of the most impactful bats of the entire deadline.
That's so funny because he was my top honorable mention. I tried to sneak him in here, but I couldn't. I couldn't. I had to give Bieber the nod over him. But you're right. Based on impact of literally just since August 1st to right now, this second we're recording this video, he probably has been one of the most impactful guys.
Yeah, he's been absolutely phenomenal. All right, who do you got at number 4, James?
Number 4, I had Josh Naylor to the Seattle Mariners. I think this trade flew a little bit under the radar just because I think Naylor always is a little bit habitually disrespected. He got traded this offseason. Even the guy he got traded for in Slade Chaconi has broken out in a massive way for the
Yes.
Guardians, helped their resurgence through the month of September. But especially in terms of what the Mariners, again, needed on that roster. Heading to the trade deadline, their first baseman had a 233, 298, 412 slash line. It's terrible. Under 300 on base percentage from first baseman is really bad. And Dr. Naylor's come there since the deadline 9 homers, 17 steals, 810 OPS. Like he is. I think he's kind of pudgy. He has kind of a weird game style for a first baseman where he's more of like a contact guy than a power guy. So I don't think he gets the respect of an elite hitter that he deserves. But he's a total dog. He's also one of those guys that can just get hot. Like you, Josh Naylor is the kind of guy who, if the rest of your offense craters in the playoff series, which we've seen the Mariners offense do anytime they've been in a big situation in the last couple of decades, Naylor is the kind of guy that can kind of be like the jolt and the punch and like get you over a hump. And again, I think that while they were ice cold, now have gotten hot again. The pitching's been great, but the lineup has kind of all gotten hot together at the same time. And Naylor's in one of those stupid hot streaks at this second over the last 2 weeks. It's like half his games, his multi-hit game. He's that good, and the Mariners needed that badly. And I think everyone was obsessed with Eugenio Suarez, but Naylor's been by far the better player since the deadline.
Naylor was also my number 4, weirdly enough.
Nice.
He's phenomenal. Just to give you the actual like counting numbers, 9 homers, 8 doubles, 29 RBI, 17 stolen bases as well. The fact that he's stealing bases is crazy. He's unbelievably slow, but he's stealing a ton of bases right now. Really, really valuable. He is a guy too that he's got the dog in him. He is a rah, let's get crazy, let's get possessed, screaming, running around the bases. I think that's big in a postseason run. You need a guy
Yeah.
who's gonna just vibe off that energy. And for a Mariners fan base that has been so deprived of success, I think having a guy like Josh Naylor, who is a little bit crazy, I think he can get the crowd going. I think it's a perfect match for what this team needed. And again, you mentioned they got nothing out of first base for the first half of the season. Getting anything was great. Getting this performance out of Naylor, 811 OPS, 132 OPS plus, so insanely valuable. He's been really good. And they also gave up nothing. They traded nothing for Josh Naylor. Anybody could have traded him. I think they got like a 23-year-old pitching prospect and a 25-year-old bullpen arm in Brandon Garcia. It's one of those trades where you're going to look back and be like, how in the world was nobody else in on Josh Naylor at the trade deadline because of the impact that he's had?
Yeah, it was Braden Garcia and Ashton Izzy.
Yes, which might be good. They might have an impact for their team,
Yeah.
but it's also funny too because for the Diamondbacks who are also in the playoff hunt, I'm sure you would have rather had Josh Naylor playing first base right now than Tyler Locklear, who they got from the Mariners in the Eugenio Suarez trade. I almost considered that as one of the worst trades because of how this team got way worse and are now back in the playoff hunt.
I just think that's a function of the team behind both of us in this video, the Mets collapsing more
Correct.
than anybody could ever
Yes.
imagine. You can't really predict that. My number 3 trade, staying in the National League, Harrison Bader to the Phillies.
Okay.
Harrison Bader has been absolutely a house on fire since going from the Twins to the Phillies. As I think it was John Crux who eloquently put it, he looks like he belongs in this Phillies lineup. I think because he's like a white guy with long hair and a little bit of a beard, but he's got 150 WRC plus. He's playing amazing defense in center field. Like he's having the best stretch of his entire career. And it happens to be happening right now when the Phillies have lost Trey Turner. Harrison Bader stepped up into the leadoff spot in that lineup and just being a very, very steady every single day player for a team that has the best record in baseball since the trade deadline as well.
Who the hell is going to be at the top of your list right now? I'm interested because I had Harrison Bader at number 2. Bader
Okay,
was my number 2. The defense is always amazing. The biggest thing, the Phillies lineup low key is like very not that great.
top heavy.
Yeah. So being able to get a guy like Harrison Bader into that lineup with the plus defense, that's an organization that hasn't gotten any production out of center field since what, like Aaron Rowan, Shane Victorino days? Like since
Uh,
those guys were playing out there?
it's also amazing because the first few weeks that Bader was a Philly,
Bad.
one, he wasn't really playing every day. The first 2 weeks, up until August 19th, he hadn't had a multi hit game. He had a 175 batting average. And then all of a sudden, it just snapped and it all caught fire. He has kind of, is he going to be hitting lead off for like fifth in playoff games? Like he's been that
Well,
good where there's an argument for it.
what's cool is you can hit him in this lineup towards the top when Trey Turner does get healthy too. Because like going with this is gonna sound crazy, Bader, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, like that's a really good top 4, especially when Bader's hitting the way that he has and can run the bases, along with Trey Turner, who's got the speed and is a good hitter. Harper and Schwarber can kind of clean those guys up off the bases, and then you kind of just hope that the rest of that lineup does enough to get back to the top again with some guys on base. Harrison Bader was someone that I was screaming about a lot at the deadline, as I thought the Mets were going to trade for him. I really wish we did in hindsight. Big reason, the bat speed changed. Like he is not the same
Got
player that
better.
he was in the past. He simply is just a better player. This is not a fluke. This is not a flash in the pan. Harrison Bader is a much better center fielder, much better version of him than we've ever seen. And the Phillies are capitalizing on it.
And Bader also allowed the Phillies to plug up one of the biggest issues kind of with their roster. It was an issue, but Nick Castellanos for years has been just deteriorating
Awful.
as a baseball player. He's one of the least valuable players in all of Major League Baseball for the last 2 seasons. Negative WAR player, can't play defense, wasn't even hitting against lefties anymore. Like it's kind of the end for Nick Castellanos. Bader going to center that allows him just play Brandon Marsh every single day. He's been playing mostly in left. And then you can kind of now just play Kepler and right as the lefty to hit the righties and keep Castellanos on the bench and have Castellanos start against the lefties. Like it's really elevated the bottom of their roster at a time when, again, no Trey Turner, no Alec Boehm, whatever you think of him. Like it's they needed another guy to be something for these guys, and he has been the dude.
All right, so then who's your number 2? Because we've gone through my top.
Who was your three?
My 3 was Loriano and O'Hearn. Remember we talked about
Oh,
them
right,
already.
yeah.
Yes. So then 2 was Harrison Bader. Who's your 2?
My two, Joan Duran.
Oh, who is your 1?
I can't believe that you didn't have my one on your list. I honestly think it's crazy.
I think I think I have a clue.
You probably
who
do now
it's
at
gonna
this
be.
point. But I mean, Duran's been like, well, he's one of the best closers in baseball. He's got one
Yeah.
blown save and one walk since the trade deadline. One walk and like 20 appearances
That's crazy.
with 24 strikeouts. Like he's that good. Like the Phillies.
Was that against the Mets? Was that
Yes, that
yeah.
was the blown save. It was Nimmo. It was a single ninth inning. We were in the ballpark. That was the last time I felt good about the Mets almost. But it's just the Phillies bullpen was not great, but it was tolerable. It probably wasn't. It was passable. It's better than some of these other bullpens out there. Like I think I like Strom more than you do. I think Strom's a top flight reliever in baseball.
Strom's good. And the rest of that bullpen though is like
No, totally. Especially not having Alvarado for the playoffs. But like Kirkring is okay. He's fine. Tanner
It's a-
Banks, all lefties weirdly because Tanner Banks is also pretty good.
that bullpen was not a playoff bullpen. That was
No,
a
it
get you
wasn't.
through the regular season bullpen.
Yeah, like I said, it was a tolerable bullpen. But I think he now putting Durant on top of that, now it's like one of the most feared bullpens in the National League. Like he's that good of a closer. And to put everyone else down a rung now, you can create matchups in the fifth, sixth, seventh innings. You have a lot of lefties to mix and match. Robertson also, he hasn't been great, but again, another guy who's like a tolerable
Yes.
middle reliever. Like he's throwing Durant on top of all that. It's just like, whoa, we got now that's a real dude.
Yeah, I put Duran as my number 1, just to jump ahead. I think the Phillies right now, I think, have to be the favorite in the National League to make the World Series, especially with how good their pitching is. Having Duran in the back end of that bullpen, he's guaranteed 3 outs. There's no doubt in my mind when that guy comes into the game is over. You mentioned one of the best relievers in baseball, and with Emmanuel Clase not playing anymore because he's gambling. He's what, number 2 or number 3 right now?
I guess.
Like you make a pretty good argument that at worst he's a top 5 reliever in the entire game.
Who's 5? You can't even try to name 4 guys better than him.
I know. I'm just saying at the absolute worst right now. I'm not going through I know Edwin Diaz, Mason Miller are ahead of him. Those are the two.
I think those are the only guys with even an argument that are ahead of them. You can convince me.
Was there anybody? Well, is a reliever number 1 for you?
Yeah.
Interesting. So you don't think he's a better reliever than this guy, but you think he's a better move than this guy? I see. That's where
I
I
do.
think you might be flawed here a little bit.
No, well, dude,
It's
You,
Dave Bednar, right?
my number one's Dave Bednar,
Yeah.
100%.
Feels like a little
Because
biased pick, but
no, not at all. The Yankees were their bullpen was dead in the
for sure.
water. Their bullpen was going to keep them from reaching the playoffs. Like at least the Phillies bullpen was going to be tolerable enough to like get them through a little bit. Like I keep saying that word. Devin Williams can't get it out. Luke Weaver sucks. Like that bullpen, the Yankees bullpen was nothing. And they also similarly traded nothing to get Dave Bednar. Like I still
True.
incorporated some of those thoughts into this deadline where I think Joan Duran got the second best package of any
Yeah,
player at the entire deadline.
Mick Abel and Eduardo Tait are good players. Like those guys are going to
100%.
be, I don't want to say impact players, but those guys will be major leaguers for the Twins for their entire
while.
rookie contract. Yes.
Like Abel might be the 4 starter next year, and I think
Yes.
there's some upside on that. And Tait, besides Leo DeVries, who again went for Mason Miller, he's the best. I think the best prospect I traded at the deadline.
Yes.
Like that's where the difference came for me, and also just because of where those bullpens started out. The Phillies bullpen was a harshly mid.
I
The
think
Yankees bullpen was flaming hot garbage.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
That's
listen,
part of it.
Yeah, that definitely plays a part of it. I still think I would go Duran over him. I mean, I
It was
didn't even
close.
rank
It was
Bednar on my
crazy
thing.
thin. Yeah,
But that's,
you didn't have.
I
Bednar.
think that's also just me, one Yankee hater, classic.
Yeah, major Yankee bias.
2, the Yankees have played like complete and utter crap the entire season, and they're still one of the best teams in the American League. Like, they probably were going to make the World Series regardless if they had Dave Bednar or not, because the American League's a
Maybe.
joke.
Kind of, but I think that
Except
this
for the
help-
Mariners. Mariners are making the World Series.
This helps them a ton.
Oh, they're much better with Dave Bednar. I also, like, as bad as Devin Williams has been and Luke Weaver and like those guys, I still kind of feel like they're going to just figure it out at some point. It could be,
When?
I don't know, in the playoffs. I don't know.
Just bang, a wild card match.
Would-
Devin
would-
Williams figures it out.
Would that shock you?
No, it wouldn't shock me at all. But I still think that you can't rely on that.
Like, the Phillies had nobody to get a big out. Nobody at all.
I would take Strom over Devin Williams any day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Matt Strom, 9th inning of the World Series. You're like, give me Matt Strom. I don't think there's a
over
chance.
Devin Williams easily.
No way.
If it's one of those guys versus the other, have you watched Devin Williams pitch this season?
So bad, but he's still a good pitcher at the end of the day.
This is a struggle because this is your two greatest biases working against each other.
I know. I hate the Phillies.
You can't objectively analyze any of this.
No, this is very I think Duran has a way bigger impact on the Phillies than Bednar does on the Yankees.
Possibly. I think it's really close. Like, it was razor thin. I'm happy
Sure,
that we
sure.
were so different on this because the first time we've been really different in any of these videos. But I think that, again, I incorporated more of the return, incorporated more of the team these guys were walking into.
Yes.
And how much
If
of
you
an upgrade they
consider
were.
return, I totally buy
Yeah.
it way more because the Yankees gave up nothing for multiple years of Dave Bednar. It is a fleece job.
Same with the Harrison Bader trade versus the Cedric Mullins trade with the Mets, where the Mets traded kind of less, but also kind of, I don't know how to describe, kind of more the Mets traded, but they're like a bunch of relievers who like are going to be in the bullpen next year.
Yeah.
Where the Phillies trade like a 16-year-old pitcher who like might wind up being sick, and like a lefty outfield masher in Double-A who's young for the level. Like, more upside but less certainty. The Mets gave way less upside but way more certainty. So again, and that's how he was number 3 on my list.
Let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Best trade of the MLB trade deadline. Make sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content here on the Windup. That's all we got for you guys. Keep an eye out for the worst trades of the deadline. We'll see you next time.